10% of all the new cars sold in Iowa come from the Karl Auto Group. Our neighbors trust us to have the largest selection and the highest standards. To our current customers, thank you. And to our future customers, see for yourself why Karl drives Iowa.
Your dealer for life, it's the Karl way.
What is up? Welcome to Cyclone Fanatic pregame here in the Northwest Bank studios. Our friends at Northwest Bank, they're just the best. So they're bringing us content all year long in their studios, and all of our pre- and post-game shows are brought to you by Karl Auto Group, KarlChevrolet.com. They carry every major brand, and it is the premier destination in Iowa, in Des Moines, to buy your next automobile. Give Karl Chevrolet a call the next time that you need a car, next time your kids need a car, anytime you need some maintenance, they can do it all. And they bring us all of our Cyclone Fanatic pre- and post-game show. Jackson Pence is joining me live from Las Vegas in the airport. A short trip for Pence, but that's probably how it should be. And we'll talk about your time in Vegas a little bit, but we got to start today with the news that Tamin Lipsey is out with a leg injury. They haven't specified completely what it is, but it can be assumed that it's a groin injury. John Walters announced on the Cyclone Radio Network at the top of the hour that Lipsey will be out for Iowa State's game against Creighton today. The line originally opened at 9.5. Last I saw it down to 5.5. So quite the impact there for Iowa State's point guard. Pence, what does this mean for Iowa State not having number 3 out there?
Well, obviously, you want the floor general out there. He's the guy that just runs all the offense for the Cyclones. But I'm going to be interested to see who gets the start today. I'm assuming it's probably going to be Heisey today.
Yep.
I'm excited to see the guys like Bateman and Nelson get in there more, because Nelson did not play a whole lot yesterday. And it'll be good when they play a Creighton team that likes to run the floor, so that's perfectly what Nelson likes to do. But again, Bateman was really good yesterday in the few minutes that he got. He knocked down a 3, he had a huge offensive rebound put back. Just seeing those guys play today, that's going to be a good test for them today.
Yeah, it's tough because Iowa State is still the better team. They're the better team without Lipsey. Creighton has been mediocre at best. I think this is the type of game that will look a lot better come February or March than it does now. Greg McDermott's teams typically get better over the course of the season. They've got a lot of transfers. Nonetheless, Iowa State is favored today still, and they should be. But I can't help but think that they're going to have an extra edge without Tamin, whether that's from Jefferson, Momcilovic, Nate Heisey, who's still kind of looking for that moment this year. Who knows? Maybe the Cyclones are going to be feeling like it's them against the world today, and if you feel that way,
I hope so.
Go to CycloneFanaticShop.com, Pence. Get yourself a Cyclone versus the world shirt. Perfect for the Christmas this time of year, and who knows? Maybe that's what Iowa State needs is just a little bit more of an edge. You probably couldn't be playing a different style of play going from St. John's to Creighton, so maybe the edge of no Lipsey is everybody feeling we've got to make up for it just a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that's the case, but watching yesterday's game, it was so physical in the paint. Every rebound was a war.
Insane.
And guys like Josh was he was exhausted after the game. And Buchanan was exhausted too. I mean, those guys played really hard yesterday, and when it mattered most at the end, they came up with the big rebound, the big offensive rebound. It was just a really great job by the bigs yesterday, but they were exhausted yesterday. I'm hoping we'll find out really quickly how well this team recovered last night when they got back to the hotel, because it was a really physical game yesterday. And maybe the Lipsey thing will help them too, with maybe giving them a little extra edge.
This will be a test, and we'll see really how much those soccer field workouts at 6 a.m. in the summer pay off, because they do these tight turnarounds in the summer. They do them in the fall for times like this. But you're right, that game, it looked even extra physical on TV. And that's impressive, because I typically sit courtside for most of these games. I can feel when a game is super physical, and you normally can't feel it on TV. And I felt it through the TV. But let's say Iowa State is refreshed, is able to recover. The good news, Buchanan didn't play a ton of minutes yesterday. Plata was able to get out there and play 12. To me, if Iowa State is fresh and ready to go, matchup-wise, this feels like it could be a really, really big day for Jefferson and Buchanan down low.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think Iowa State's bigs are a lot better than what Creighton has. And some of that is partly because Creighton's still trying to figure out who they are. And yesterday, that was very evident early in the game. Baylor looks more of a complete team right now than Creighton does. And one of the things I thought yesterday was Creighton does not have a true point guard. They have Nick Graves, who does all the ball handling, and Josh Dix, who's kind of the off-ball guard. But they really don't have a true point guard. So their offense is kind of just like an NBA-style offense. It's one-on-one, and if you pick up your dribble, it's pass to the corner for an open three, or some guy's trying to create off the bounce. So that might help Iowa State because it's just a lot of one-on-one defending. But then you can pack the paint too when you have guys like Freeman come in. I know Isaac Trout came in yesterday, hit a couple big threes to get him back in the game. It's going to be more of a one-on-one type defense for Iowa State today more than the rotation style that they've been playing prior.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that Creighton does play a similar style to BYU, a team that has given Iowa State fits in the past. And Creighton really takes control of the ball. They try to not turn it over. They take pride in that. And that doesn't bode well for Iowa State. However, we have seen Iowa State in the past be able to, yes, BYU's been a bad matchup, but Iowa State has had a couple nice games against BYU where they were able to get out there and run. So I think it is worth noting that even though I think Iowa State is the better team, more talented, more physical, and tougher, it is still a bad matchup, and Creighton easily could go out there and hit 13 threes and completely change this game. However, we didn't see Iowa State create a ton of turnovers yesterday. Do you really think that's going to continue 2 days in a row? Because I don't.
I don't either. I thought early in the second half yesterday, they really dialed up the pressure.
Oh, totally.
Got a few early turnovers and got the lead quickly in the second half, and I think that kind of just helped them propel the rest of the game. But I think you're right. In that first exhibition, too, that team was brand new. They hadn't even played together for the first time. And now you see them 4 or 5 weeks later. They're just totally different teams. So I think what you saw yesterday in the second half is what you're probably going to see today and the whole game.
TJ Altsberger's message all season so far has been it's rotationless. Everyone's going to get in the first half, essentially. And whoever makes the most winning plays, whoever impacts winning the most is the one that will be able to stay on the floor. That's going to be enhanced today without Tamin Lipsey. There's going to be opportunities, probably not for Torrey to earn more minutes. He's already playing quite a bit of minutes, but for the other three, Heisey, Bateman, Nelson, who's going to make the shots out of that group? Who's going to be the ones to create the turnovers, go the other way? I think that's really fascinating, and I think you'll see all three of those guys playing with a bit more of an edge because they sense that opportunity. They sense Lipsey's out today. He might be out tomorrow. Who knows? He could be out for a couple of weeks. And there's a lot of big games the next few weeks. There's a lot of opportunities to continue to build up your reputation. Out of those three guys, who do you see having the biggest game today?
I think it's Bateman just because I think the defense. I think Nelson is a great guy in transition. When he has the ball in transition, he's just going to the basket at will. But I think it's Bateman just because of the fact that he knocked down a huge three yesterday. He played some really, really big minutes yesterday in times where, Torrey was in foul trouble. Lipsey got in foul trouble early there in the middle of the second half there. I think it's just Bateman just because of the fact that, he can knock down a few shots from the three. And he really is a great rebounder, too. We saw that in the second half yesterday.
Big putback.
He'll crash the board from the top of the key and stole the ball from Zuby Ejiofor, who's probably one of the best bigs in the country. So I just think it's Bateman for the fact that he can guard really well on the perimeter and he can just knock down shots from behind the arc.
Yeah, it's worth noting Dom Nelson did not play in the second half yesterday. Again, this is the way Otzelberger is approaching this. Is a guy can go from playing 5 minutes one night to 25 the next. So it's key to not get too caught up every single game. Who's playing the most minutes, especially when foul trouble gets involved. The reality is Nelson did not have a great first half. He made a cut or two to the basket, wasn't able to finish, and who knows? He played really well against Creighton in that exhibition over a month ago. He was, I think, Iowa State's leading scorer, in fact, and he was really the only offense in that first half. So it could be a Nelson game to get out there, and maybe he plays 30 minutes. The point is, we won't really know until everyone checks in for the first 2 times.
Yeah, and all those guys were engaged yesterday on the bench, too. I mean, you look over there, Nelson was one of the first guys off the bench, high-fiving people that were coming in and out. Same with Bateman when he wasn't in there. Those guys are all really engaged, which is a great sign. And like you said, like, TJ plays guys maybe 2 minutes one night and then 25 the next. Like, these guys are always ready for their opportunity, and they're going to have to be ready today because they're a really good Creighton team.
It's a big opportunity. Iowa State already 1-0 out there in Las Vegas. If you could pick up a second win, you're playing with house money on Wednesday. We'll be back for postgame. Pence, how was your trip in Vegas outside of the basketball? Did you and Williams, I know you behaved. Did Williams behave?
We hit Minions really hard last night down on Fremont Street. Lawrence was down there. We had a good time down there. Steve was down there.
Any wins? Anyone come out winners?
Well, everyone but me. Everyone
man.
but me did. It was tough down there.
That's brutal.
They took me to this, and Aiden obviously knows, but they took us to this place in Circa, the Asian restaurant. It was phenomenal last night.
I've heard so much about this. So much about this. I need to try it. Maybe next year. We'll see if, as long as Iowa State finishes top 8 in the Big 12, they'll be back out in Las Vegas next year. And Pence, we appreciate you coming on, taking some time while you're in the airport for the Cyclone Fanatic pregame show brought to you by Karl Auto Group in the Northwest Bank Studios. I'll be here postgame with Brent Bloom. We will see you there after, we'll see, maybe another Cyclone victory out there in Las Vegas.